I'm Brenda Boschella.
And I'm Jane Sherlow.
And we hate word problems.
What kind of word problems are we going to hate today, Brenda?
Well, today we're going to show you how to solve some word problems that you would see in a beginning algebra class, the kind that are solved by writing an equation.
Well, you might not have done equations recently, or maybe you never did do equations, but we'll walk you through that.
Yes, and we do want to say that we are not math instructors.
No.
We are both reading specialists. And because we're reading specialists, we are word people, not necessarily numbers people. But we have found that words are the key to solving word problems. And our approach has us looking at some key words and some word patterns that help us find X and solve these problems. We're going to look today at word problems that compare two things. Jack is 4 years older than Jane. If the sum of their ages is 50, how old are Jack and Jane?
Well, this is a problem I can identify with because I'm the Jane in this problem and my husband's Jack, and he is 4 years older. This is a classic comparing two things problem. We're comparing Jack's age and Jane's age, and they give us the sum, which means add, of course, is 50. So our equation is going to be Jack's age plus Jane's age equals 50. But we have to know who X is. The word than is a comparison word, and it will point you to X. So we're going to say that Jane's age is X. And then the question is, what are we going to call Jack's age in the language of algebra? Well, he's 4 years older than Jane, so he's Jane's age plus 4 years. So we write an equation. Jane's age plus Jack's age equals 50. Now, to solve this equation, we simply combine the x's. And by the way, there is a 1 understood in front of the x. So 1x plus 1x is 2x plus 4 equals 50. Now, we want to solve for x, meaning we want to get x by itself on the left side of the equal sign. So we have to get rid of the 2, and we have to get rid of the 4. And it makes a difference which one we do first. We always get rid of first the one being added or subtracted from the x. The opposite of positive 4 is negative 4. That's going to zero it out. And whatever we do to one side, we have to do to the other side to keep the equation balanced. So we have left 2x, which by the way means 2 times x, equals 46. Now, to get rid of the 2, we're going to do the opposite. This is 2 times x. The opposite of multiplying by 2 is dividing by 2, and on both sides to keep it balanced. 2 divided by 2 is 1x equals 23. And algebra doesn't write the 1. They would simply write x equals 23. So that is Jane's age. Now we have to look at the question. Sometimes by the time you do all this, you forget what the question is. So you go back to the problem. And there will be 2 answers. How old are Jack and Jane? And we put them in words because if you start with words in a word problem, you end with words in the answer. So Jack, well, I'll start with Jane. Jane is 23 years old, and Jack is 23 plus 4 more, or 27 years old.
All right. We'd like to look at one more problem. It's going to use the same pattern and will have a keyword for us to focus on. In a high school basketball game, Jeff Jones made twice as many free throws as Tom Johnson. If the total number of free throws made by both players was 15, find out how many free throws Jeff Jones made. So just like Dr. Jane just showed us, we're going to look here for a keyword. She found the keyword than. The other keyword that you will often see is the word as, and it will also point you to X. So if Tom Johnson's free throws are X, we can now look back and see how many free throws did Jeff Jones make. Well, it says Jeff Jones made twice as many free throws as Tom. Twice simply means 2 times. So we can write that Jeff's free throws are 2 times, or 2x, which means 2 times x. All right. And again, we were given a total in this problem as well. So we know the total number of free throws was 15. So now we have everything we need to set up an equation. We have Tom's free throws, which were x, plus Jeff's free throws, which were 2 times x. And we know that the total was 15. So we have 1x plus 2x, which gives us 3x, and that equals 15. Now again, we want to get x by itself, so we're going to divide by 3, and what we do to the left side, we also want to do to the right side of the problem. This, of course, becomes x equals 5. Now again, we have to go back to our problem and find out what was the question we were being asked. It asked us how many free throws, how many free throws Jeff Jones made. So if Tom was x, Jeff Jones was 2 times x. So we have to say 2 times 5, which gives us 10. Therefore, Jeff made 10 free throws. Start with words and end with words.
Well, let's see how we could summarize this for people. When you see a problem where they're comparing 2 things, and you read through and you see there's a total, that pattern is like the ones that you saw here today. You look for the key words.
Yep, than and as.
Yes. Both of which compare, and they will point you to what x is, and you're ready to set up your equation.